Hi folks, now a quick fly shop here. Just tying up a little intruder. I've already got it started, dubbing loop with some ice dubbing. So I'm just going to put that on. And I just want to create a little bump at the back. Nothing special, just something for a little bit of an attractor thing, that's all, nothing serious. And I'm using the T-Rex Vice Canadian tube fly tube, micro tube that I really like. I can use it for all the beads that I have. Now just lock that in a little better, and then I'm going to brush it up a bit. Stone full brush, pretty cool. Just a bump, nothing much. Give a little brush cut. There we go. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm sliding on a humor weighted tube body. I'm not worried about my thread coming back over it. I'm actually using the yellow thread, so even that's color blend. There we are. I'm bringing my thread over. No big deal. It's not a big issue. There. Now what we're going to do is tie in some orange grizzly hackle. And I'm using this just to assist in building my bump. I want real stiff fibers so that my marabou that I will be using is going to go up and over. And this is custom dyed marabou here at the store. We've been playing for the last 3 or 4 years with dyeing our own feathers, and we get better quality feathers and the colors that we really want. So you can see these fibers are quite stiff, and this is going to allow that bump to push out the marabou that I put on here. Interestingly, we are also going to use some Argus feather pieces, and here's the Argus feather. Pretty crazy stuff. Look at that, really long fibers, and we had some mismatched pairs here, mismatched feathers, so rather than just let them sit around, we dyed some up, and we're using them instead of using Amherst. More expensive, but really cool. So now I'm going to put on some marabou. Now I like to tie my marabou in from the stem. Not everybody does, but I do. There, 2, 3, 4, come around, lock it. Now there we are. Cut that extra stem off. And I'll start wrapping and always pulling my material back. This is a butterscotch color that I really like. There we are. It's just a really cool color. It reminds me of butterscotch toffee when I was a kid. I always loved that butterscotch toffee. There we are. Nothing too much. And you can see the yellow will come through. It is for weight, absolutely. There we are. Now we'll just lock it in there. There we are. And I'm using, like I said, I'm using the Cottarelli T-Rex Vice. Pretty neat. And I'll brush this out a bit so you can see some of those hackle feathers coming through a bit. So it just pushes out and creates an extremely nice bump. Next, I'm going to tie in some of these Argus feathers. It should be really cool. Just a couple, and we'll wrap them around completely around the tube. There we are. And I'll just come around the fly like so. One more. When I'm done that, I'll just unwrap all my thread and just rewrap everything so it's really, I don't take up too much space. You can use rhea, you can use other feathers, but I like using the Argus because we have it, and it's kind of neat. A little longer and very, very strong. One of the problems with a lot of these feathers is that they're very weak. There, now I've completely surrounded. Let's see, I'll put one more batch in. Okay, 1, 2, 3, right there. Make sure they bend down naturally. You can see the natural curve of the fiber. Bend it down. Now I'm going to unwrap all those wraps and come back over all of them. Real nice and tight. There we are. Neat looking. And I'll cut all this stuff off. Make sure not to cut your thread. And there we are. Good to go. There. Pretty cool. Yeah. I'm going to put a little jungle cock in here in a few minutes. Pretty nice. And I got a little bit of crystal flash. Not much, again, just a couple pieces. I used to use all sorts of flashes in my steelhead flies years ago. Now I'm using much less. The creativity of tying these is pretty cool. You can do a lot of things, and with their own colors, it makes it even that much nicer. There, that's enough. Jungle cockeye. Oh, not yet, not yet, not yet. A little bit of dark. I want a little bit of dark color on there to match the Argus. So I got a turkey flat in a dark natural black. It's almost a dark brown, black brown. Not much, don't need much on there. Just come through those fibers, no big deal. Fish isn't going to count. Just a nice little accent on the front. I don't want to jam the front too much because I got to put bead on here yet, or cone. And the jungle cock. Love the jungle cock accent. It just finishes this fly off so well. And I'm using fluorescent orange stir-dyed jungle cock. Just to finish it off. Beautiful. And I will use a little super glue. I'm going to use a little super glue here as well, which I like using. Pretty nice stuff. And I'm just going to put it on my thread. I'll put it on my thread so I can just wrap a little bit. There we are. There we are. And folks, it is almost complete. Just the cone and the lighter. So wet finish. I know I use a tool. I've been using it for well over 20 years now. Same tool actually. Nice, nice. Now what I like about these cones is that I'm going to be able to push back. I'm going to be able to push back that fiber. I didn't have quite enough. There we are. And I'm going to use a silver Pro Tube cone. There. There we are. Pretty sexy. Now, I'll just cut that. I like to push it back on the pin if I can, and it holds that tube. It's a little bit long. Holds that tube open. There we are. Ouch, I hurt. And there we are, folks. There is a real sexy, organic butterscotch intruder. Yeah, nice bump, nothing too big. Some of these new tires are building the bumps too big. It looks like a grapefruit going through the water. This is really sexy. It's got lots of movement and color and organic colors. That's what these steelhead like. They like the organic colors, like pink worms with brown spots on them and stuff. Anyhow, that's it, folks.